What's up, everybody? It's Jeremy with Fireplace Friday here at Flues Brothers World Headquarters. I had an interesting call this morning. I had a message overnight from a gentleman that had watched some of these videos. I thought it was a chimney sweep, and he was just a gentleman who watched some of these videos, watched some of my YouTube videos online, and was curious about the heat shield system or the resurfacing system that we use to repack mortar joints and fix the interior of flue linings and stuff. He had seen that and was wanting, hey, can I purchase this stuff so I can fix my chimney? Well, we had I explained to him, I said, well, you always want to start with an inspection first, because you never know. The system might not qualify for that type of repair. And I asked him, have you had it inspected? No, I just bought the house and I think this needs to be done to it. And I said, well, let's confirm, because a lot of people don't realize how expensive some of these materials are. And why are they so expensive to fix chimneys? Well, it's because we're a pretty small artisan trade, and unlike some bigger trades or other trades out there that have such a volume, like heating and cooling, you got to have heating and cooling in your house, unless you live in a van down by the river. And even then, that van might have air conditioning, and so eventually everybody will have to use a heating and cooling technician in their life. So there's a volume of it. Now, with the chimneys, there's not a huge volume of people in our trade. I consider it what's called an artisan trade. Very specialty. Not a lot of people are in it, even though the industry, has tons of potential and room for growth. The people that work in it have special trades and knowledge of special trades, which bleeds into a lot of different things, because people really don't know. Like, I was just listening to one of the phone calls that came in, and the gentleman bought a house, and he was on the phone for 10 minutes with our gals, explaining his whole chimney life story and everything else. And the girls are kind of like, man, he keeps on going over all this. And I go, it's because he's never used a chimney service before, so he doesn't know what to expect. Of course, he had, when he bought the place, they had a inspection by another company, and of course, there's some problems because the chimney's probably never been maintained, and has some normal problems from what I was hearing. Things that just happen over time with structures. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a chimney, it could be anything. But, the first time you see something or you hear something, and then you get a price to repair something, it's like, is that normal? Is that right? Is that how much it costs? Seems a little expensive. Doesn't seem expensive enough. Things like that. So they'll call, and people will call and give us their life story, and it's essentially, kind of asking, hey, I'm not sure where to go. But at the end of the day, when you call a chimney service, it's gonna, no matter what the story is, there's two things. We can't go off of other companies' findings and stuff, because we might view things a little differently. They might view things a little differently. It's not like buying a television, and people instantly go back to kind of a commodity type thing anytime they go, okay, well, how am I supposed to process this? And I'm here to tell you, just all the work that we've had done through contractors and stuff. There's such a sway in what they're doing and everything else. So you got to look at the estimate and look at the repair. Also, it's not like buying siding or windows where I go, hey, I need new windows, or hey, I need a new roof, or hey, I need siding. It's always, I've got a problem. Can you help me and figure this out? Does this really need to be done? Does that really need to be done? Things of that nature. So you always start with, in this industry, as a customer, you always start with a service offering an inspection or a cleaning and inspection. But the inspection part is the most important part. That way we go out, we do a full evaluation, interior, exterior, take photos, and then we're able to go over it with you. And as I've said a million times before, because we just had a person the other day that is the decision maker, wants to be part of the whole process, but didn't take the time to be at the appointment. So now he's wanting, a technician to give him a holler. Going over this stuff over the phone is very hard, very confusing. You really want to start off right and be at the appointment. Write down questions. Once your technician is able to go through that whole thing, get a good overview of what's going on, a good technician in a good company will take photos and everything, and typically all your things will be answered, and you'll have a good, clear aspect of what's going on. And then you go, but I'm paying for an inspection. I might even be paying for an inspection again for this second opinion. Well, just like if you go to a doctor's office and you go, hey, I need a second opinion, you're going to get charged. Your insurance is going to get charged. If you don't have insurance, you're going to get charged, because time is money. The information, you know, is unique to your house, so it's not general information you just find on the internet about what condition your exact chimney's in. So you're going to pay an inspection fee to cover the technician's time and his knowledge. There's a ton of training that goes into this industry, all this fancy stuff. It's not cheap running a business, et cetera, et cetera. So that way, if you've got a good inspection with all your photos, very knowledgeable, very in depth, and then you'll have all that information. And then if it's a company like ours, if you decide you want, okay, hey, I'm at another inspection fee or whatever, well, that just happens if you want second opinions. But here's the cool thing: if it's a company like ours, we apply that inspection fee towards the repairs. And of course, it has to have a threshold. We can't do a $50 repair and give you a free inspection. It's a $1,000 threshold, which if you've ever done any remodeling in a home, I'm here to tell you, I got people doing flooring and stuff right here at the shop that you get to $1,000 pretty quick these days on repairs or things that need to be done to a home. There are always some smaller things that might need to be done, but there's always some bigger things. And when it comes to chimneys that haven't been maintained or anything, there's several things that are pretty common, and those items to repair, are typically over $1,000. So if you're hoping to get someone out and get major things done, it's kind of like, hey, I would love it if my countertops for upstairs would only cost $500-600, but that's not reality. The countertops, I've got probably 5 to 10 countertops and sink tops and things like that, and someone's got to come out, someone's got to pay. A lot of people don't realize, but you got to realize this. If it is a company that does free estimates or whatever for whatever, because again, flooring people, they didn't charge me to come out. The cabinet people, when they built the cabinets, did charge me. They charged me a spec fee, which is absolutely fine, because it takes a lot of time for them to measure out and then lay it all out, put it in a nice presentation, and here's what we can do for you, and here's the pricing. But if you wanted to shop around or something, I now have that. And I have that layout, and I know, okay, this is what's going to fit in that space and everything. So I got something for my money. I got that inspection report thing. So it depends on what industry. If it's flooring and they offer free estimates, it's a service they offer. But here's the thing you need to remember too: that estimator, their time, costs money, costs the company money, and also they might be paid on commission or whatever. So we need to take it seriously, but they need to take it seriously too. And this is where I want to do a shout out, because I think we tried to deal with 5 different flooring companies, ended up having to cut ties with another. Even countertop companies, I had them come out. They'd come out and they'd spec everything out, and I'd never get an estimate back. But let me tell you, these guys have been on point. I don't do this very often, but these guys have been on point. I'm going to show you their company. They came out. The gentleman that we dealt with was very knowledgeable. Shout out to him. They did a great job. We're having them do our countertops and our floors. The pricing was good. A little bit more expensive than the other ones, which at that point I don't care, because the other ones I either never heard back from, or they didn't show up to do the work. All these other problems that are just like, well, they weren't even hired in the first place. So that price that they gave me was null and void. So we're going to pay a little bit more, but we're going to get better quality. And these guys have shown up on time. The gentleman that consulted with us first showed up to make sure everything was going well. They've followed up with me. They've got me on a text line. Just perfect. And they were out this week. And when the other people were kind of messing around and it would be random, not show up, they show up. They showed up every day, on time, very friendly, working hard. Let me send to these guys here. So that's the company right there. It's Chimneys Flooring. Here's a phone number too. If you're in the Kansas City area, they do hardwood, granite countertops, tile and natural stone, and carpet. Oh, they did carpet too. So anyways, wanted to give them a shout out. It's very frustrating doing remodeling in homes and things like that, but there is a level of professionalism, and you're going to pay a little bit more for that professionalism. But you know what? They've done a knockout job. I wish I would have found them first, because when you first go to hire someone, you don't know who to hire. Who do I hire? So you throw out, you do a random Google search. Sometimes you'll throw it out and ask friends and family. I love referrals. Maybe get on Nextdoor, things like that, and people will make suggestions. Then you have to kind of weed through that and see if they're going to work for you, if it's going to, if they have a good system, things of that nature. So it's always hard, but once you find those good contractors that do a nice job for you and everything, you need to shout it from the rooftops for other people, not only for the benefit of that company and the benefit of that person that came out, and consulted with you and did a good job, and they've got good people working for them, but you need to shout it out and let all your friends and family know. And I'm going to do it for this company because, and I've got customers that will contact on that because they've done a good job. They've done a follow through so far. They're able to bump up our countertop, which is great because I've got them doing the countertops too. And so far, I'm very, very impressed by them. And that means a lot coming from me because I run a business, and unfortunately, I compare a lot of other people's systems and company and the way they do things to my own. And we have a very good follow through. Just got a compliment this morning from a gentleman. He's like, man, you guys are the greatest company I've worked with. Very thorough, very follow through. Just made it smooth and easy for me. I didn't have to be home on the exterior repair. It looks great. You guys are sending me photos of the work you did afterwards. It's just amazing. Who does that? Well, we do that, and good companies should do that too. It's just a little extra effort for a lot more gain and a lot more better service for customers. So let's go back to the customer that called about the heat shield product that we use inside of flue linings and everything. He had called and he goes, well, I'd like to purchase that stuff. Do you know where I can purchase it at? And I said, well, you have to be a dealer first off. There's a lot of specialty products out there. They don't want this system. They don't want just anybody buying it and trying to put it in, because then the system's going to look bad because it's going to fail if you don't have proper training. So that's another question that you always want to find out. If you're hiring someone that is, in some sort of a specialty gutter guard system or specialty system of some form or what have you, you want to make sure that their installers have been properly factory trained and certified. And almost every one of those specialty deals have that. And that's what we have here. And I told them, I said, look, by the time you buy the winch and all the product and everything, let's pretend that you could just buy it and didn't have to have the training and everything. It's thousands of dollars for all this equipment. Let me show you a few things here, and this is where we store a lot of our product out here. This is one of our storage places right next to our shop. But this winch right here alone is like $700-800 just for a specialty winch for your chimney, and that's the only time you'll use it. It's not something you can rent or anything. And then look at all of these different headsets. All of these cost a lot of money. I've got a lot of money invested in all this stuff. And then the special foams that we have cut. Then we draw this system up through, and that, let alone the material and all the additives and everything we have to add into it to make it stick and things like that. And we hardly ever have any problems with this system. As long as people get the water to stop in their chimney and it doesn't fail, because any masonry-based product isn't going to last very long if it's got water coming in. So you want to make sure you take care of the exterior of that chimney before you go investing a lot of money on the interior. It'd be kind of like remodeling a bathroom, but you got a ceiling leak or a roof leak. That's going to ruin all of those new items that you put in the bathroom. But we wouldn't even get here in the first place of understanding, hey, this is the best system for your repair. This is what shape your chimney's in and everything else without that original inspection. And like I said, if you weren't too impressed by the first company, or you want a second opinion or whatever, you want a good, honest opinion. So you want someone who's going to come out and charge for a service call, charge for an inspection, and come out and give you a wide open, hey, this is what's going on. And then that way, since money's being handed to that company, they can give you an honest opinion of what's going on, because they're getting paid for their time. If they were just a salesman or a free estimate person, they have to make a sale, because that's how they make their living. That's how they get paid. This money doesn't just grow on trees or fall from the heavens somewhere. I wish it did, but I put in a lot of hours and a lot of time, just like all business owners do. I feel like I'm here more than I'm at home sometimes, but that's the lifestyle I've chosen. I do love doing it for all of you. I love having these conversations with people, helping people out. It's kind of my calling in life. Happens. So treat everybody well. If you're a business owner or a salesman or a technician or whatever, heed my story. Do a good job for your customers. They'll all appreciate you. Be professional. Be open and honest. A gentleman that called and was bragging on us asked, hey, do I get to see the photos of what you guys did up there, because I'm not going to crawl all the way up there? I said, absolutely. Once we close out, the system sends you everything. We're very transparent. There's nothing to hide. Good, honest people do that. We don't have to try to sell somebody. A lot of people will call and go, what do I actually have to do? And I go, well, or what's not that important? I go, well, we only give you the important stuff. It's a fireplace. You're having fire in your house. There isn't like a lot of little add-on details. Now, if you want an appliance installed, that's kind of an option. Okay, instead of doing this, let's do this. But short of that, I mean, a crack's a crack, water entry's water entry, smells are smells, dirty chimney is dirty chimney, broken things are broken, and that's it. And that's the nice thing about our industry, is we can be open and honest with people. So have a great weekend. It's cooling off outside. Phones are ringing off the hook. So if you want to get your chimney service and you plan on getting it done before the holidays, call now. Don't mess around. Don't, fiddle around or anything. Get on it, because if you want to have that information to you ASAP, you'll want to get in there soon, because every chimney company across the United States is going to fill up very quickly. It just happens. It's a seasonality thing. It happens every single year. It's happened every single year. It doesn't matter if that company has one person or 100 people. Very, very busy. So, hey, from Alaska, Jay Walker, Matthew Sumter, Nikki Barnes, Andrew Curtis, Noah Biswell, my son. We'll see you this weekend. I'm going to visit him out in Manhattan and watch the game. And Michael Stewart, everybody that's got on there, and everybody that is on there, everybody's listening to this. I appreciate every one of you. Give me a holler sometime if you need anything. We will talk to you next week. Have a great weekend. Fireplace Friday, Flues Brothers Chimney Service, 913-236-7141. Have a great weekend.